So if you'll take a look at the eyesight, so this is the eyesight in which all objects appear. In this, the eyes are the subject, and all that which is seen as distinct separate objects, right? They're the object, meaning so I and other. So in this, eyes are the I, and everything seen is the other. So just take a moment to notice in your surroundings right now all the objects that you see. You know, all the um, visual things that you see. There's a lot of diversity here. There's a lot of differences here. Everything is a this and not that. Everything, it's like, you know, it has certain boundaries, definitions, qualities, colors, shapes, sizes, textures, plethora of objects, infinite objects, no limit to it. So when we talk about self-inquiry, you know, how like the self cannot be seen in experience, it's very much like when you look outside and what you see visually, and it's like saying that you cannot see the eyes inside of experience. In anything, in any object, you will not see the eyes or eyesight. To look for eyesight as an object would be silly, right? Because the eyesight is from where you are seeing. The eyesight is because of which you can see such objects. For a second, rather than being so immersed in what you see in the room that you're sitting in, take a moment to acknowledge the fact that eyesight is present. Notice that eyesight is happening. Until now, we were just totally lost in the things we saw, but we totally took for granted the fact of eyesight, the fact that eyesight exists. So, in this little experiment, in this little practice, rather than being so immersed and focused in the particular object that you see, just notice the fact that eyesight exists, that eyesight is operating. Do you see how you like to notice that eyesight exists? You don't have to think to yourself, oh, eyesight is happening, eyesight is happening, eyesight is happening, eyesight is happening. It is a wordless, thoughtless noticing, recognition. Eyesight exists. Not a saying to oneself or thinking out loud, eyesight is there, eyesight is there. It is just a noticing, becoming aware of eyesight. This is where we can draw a really beautiful parallel between now like visual seeing and objects to self-inquiry, to noticing presence. Because the presence is very much like the eyesight. Because of it, all things appear, but it itself is invisible. right? Eyesight is invisible, yet it's present. It's not any particular object that you see, yet because of it, you know any object. So for a moment, let's sort of translate this into our meditation practice. Anything that you can know, anything that you can perceive, whether sensation, thought, feeling, and of course, all of the objects of sense perceptions, any sound, any sight, any taste, any touch, any smell, all of these are the objects. Like you were looking at the objects of the room just now. Now, all things that are known, including the body, including the mind, are like the objects in the room, which are being illumined by the presence, which is similar to the eyesight. It itself is not any of the objects being that are appearing, and to look for it in objects would be foolish. So in our practice, instead of being focused or lost in and immersed in the objects that we see, such as thought, take a moment to become aware of the fact of awareness. Your seeing is like the eyesight. You don't have to think to yourself, eyesight is there, eyesight is there. Similarly, the seeing, because of which all objects are known, take a moment to notice that seeing. Notice how awareness exists. Just like you cannot find eyesight in any of the objects in the room. Just like that. Don't look for awareness in any thought, in any sensation, in any experience. All experience is the object in the room. Notice the fact that awareness exists. I am aware. It is like a self awareness rather than becoming aware of an object. You are just noticing your own existence. You're noticing the existence of the subject, the seer. Any problem with this, any struggle with this, Any confusion about this, please feel free to share. Very good. I'm glad it resonated. Do you see also the parallel to the meditation practice? Because it's actually very similar to the eyesight, because in a way it's seeing, there's an inner seeing. So even when eyesight is gone, there's an inner seeing which sees thoughts and sensation and feeling and hears sound and whatnot. So rather than the being so totally fixated in the sound or the thought or this or that, you just notice the existence of the seeing. It's actually the same as noticing I exist, because I am the seer, right? I am the seer. So noticing the seeing is the same as noticing I am, I exist. Don't complicate I am any more than that. It is a noticing of your existence. It is a noticing of your presence. So in meditation, we keep seeing our gaze turn to objects. We're just lost in objects. And that's the blinding power of thought, that it keeps your gaze outward in object. Because, the imagination within the thought, aka the concept it's talking about, it's very like, it's a beautiful story. Even if it's painful, it's a beautiful story. It's like very mesmerizing and captivating. So it just keeps our gaze on object. And notice how if you keep seeing the object, you cannot know yourself. If you keep remaining immersed in the objects in the room, you'll never notice eyesight. We'll take it for granted. It's there, it's still there as it is, but we just remain lost in objects. So in our meditation practice, we keep seeing our gaze keep again and again going on objects. But instead of like caring so much about the objects that we see, we are now growing in the wonder, in the noticing of the seeing itself. Not saying to ourselves again and again, not thinking, I am aware, I'm present, I am seeing the seeing. That's thought, which is also seeing. That's an object. When it arises, forget about it. You just notice the seeing itself, the presence itself. So this is a very simple thing, which we really tend to complicate, because we've heard a lot about the I am, and we're looking for things, we're looking for an explosion, we're looking for some crazy stuff. But it's this acknowledgement, this noticing, I see, I am aware, I am, I exist. And in that moment, you're not particularly focused on any object. Just like when you notice eyesight, previously you were looking at things, right? But when you notice eyesight being there, things are still there, but you're not focused on any of them. Even let's say the direction that your eyes are looking at, and of course the object is there, but like you're not focused on it. This is something to really play around with if you struggle with the concept, with the whole teaching of I am, noticing awareness, or the whole practice of self inquiry. this is something to really play around with and get used to, because it will help you with the practice of I am as well. Play around with the eyesight. See how you are we are lost in like things we know, things we see, and you actually have the capacity to just acknowledge the fact of eyesight being there. It is very similar to the practice. Then you try to translate that over into the meditation practice.
I hope that video helped you greatly. If you want to make what you heard in today's video your direct experience, then you have to start practicing self-inquiry meditation. So I have a resource for you that you can download for free in the description box below. It is my self-inquiry guide. It will teach you how to practice self-inquiry step by step. And if you're looking for help with consistency and depth in your practice, and you want a more structured approach, check out our School of Awakening. School of Awakening is a community of people practicing self-inquiry and awakening to their true self. It is an amazing program that will help you break through. So firstly, we have our amazing community group here where you can ask questions anytime. Along with that, we have our course material, where, as you can see over here, day by day, I will lead you down into a deeper and deeper understanding, and again, more importantly, experience your true nature. Along with that, we do weekly meetings, Q&As, guided meditations, and from within the program, you can even book a private meeting with me to get additional help. It is an incredible resource. If you are serious about your self-inquiry practice, you want to commit to going deeper into these teachings, then I highly encourage you to take a look at the link in the description box below. It'll take you over to the School of Awakening page and you can enroll right away. So I certainly hope to see you inside of our School of Awakening. But that's all for today's video. I hope you gained a lot of value. I'll see you next time.